Well, hi guys. Welcome to I don't know what to say. Another in the series with Simone Stewart. And guys, I decided I'd just do a real talking head video here with you. Just talking a little bit about me, my passions, and what are my dreams and goals and aspirations and the whole work. So just a little backstory to who I am. I'm originally from Jamaica. I was born in Montego Bay. I was born at home actually. And a matter of fact, I think my mom said of the six of us, only one was born at the hospital, and so the rest of us was actually born at home. I still remember my mom giving birth to my sister, my baby sister, at home. And you little child mine, I still remember her on the ground, etc. I still remember, hearing the baby and the next morning seeing the baby, so to speak, and kind of just seeing the state that my mother was in. But of course, my brain could not comprehend it all then. And of course, I remember as Shelly grew up, that's my sister, she took her time to grow. We were all responsible for her, etc. And just ensuring that she was taken care of. Of course, I still remember, that as the eldest one at the time living at home, I thought I had a responsibility to take care of her, and at the same time I thought I had a responsibility to mother her. But they grew up, and so there came this time when I still remember the first time that it appeared that she had grown up, and so she would not take any form of reprimanding from me. She was now being very feisty, for want of a better word, and retaliating and that kind of thing. And it seems as if she has not turned back since then, and stuff. But some strange reason, my childhood really, really comes back to mind as I'm doing this video. Some of the things I remember growing up in Flankers, guys, and we call it the ghetto, right? But for me, it wasn't a ghetto, because the truth is, you don't know that you're growing up in ghetto, right? You're a child, you're growing up with lots of people around you, you're growing up with neighbors, and everybody seems to be so caring about each other, and my mother knows everybody and stuff. But there are a few things that stood out to me, guys, that really makes a difference. And I will say one of those things was the way in which my mother cared for other people. Our home was known as one of those places that a lot of persons came to get help, right? And in return, it was also the place where it was blessed. And I say that because, guys, I remember people would take boxes of mangoes and fruits, and there was this lady, Miss Olive. She would always bring baked goods. One particular case I always remember, it was the pouring rain, and we could see across the road where she would drive and park, and she would come down. I remember that day with the rain, guys, the pouring rain, and she came out of the rain with a box. And in that box, guys, was cake and bun and donuts and all kinds of pastry and stuff. And it was always such a pleasure to have Miss Olive come to the house. And then we talk about, there was this gentleman that came from the country area. He always brought jelly and mango. Mango season, guys, let me tell you, maybe that's why I can't eat as much fruits anymore, because we were never short. Nesberry, oh my God, guys, who remember? We call it Nesberry. Some people call it Neesberry. All of those things. I haven't seen that in a while. I can't eat it because it bothers my allergy. But guys, I remember all of those things would come to the house. And let me tell you what I always remember. My mother would always pack those things, guys, and she would no matter how much she got, she would always pack and always have something to share with somebody else. We used to have this lady up the road, I forgot her name now, but mommy always pack a bag, and I remember that bag used to be so heavy to pack to take up to her. But it was a pleasure to take it up, guys. And what I saw was a reciprocating action between what my mother would do for others and what others would do for her. And I would dare say, guys, that if I think we're now living off some of those blessings. And I'm now teaching my children how to share what they have, right? How to be a blessing with what they have, because I think indirectly my mother taught me how to be a blessing. And so I'm really teaching my children how to be a blessing in a similar way. And the next thing I know too, guys, is that what I realized, the hand that blessed my mom is not necessarily the hand that she blessed. What do I mean by that? So the person who gave her goods is not who she necessarily gave goods to, right? She would give to other people. And so, guys, I think that's how God has created the universe, where it goes around, if that makes sense. You give, somebody else give, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing. And it was just such a blessing, guys. It was just such a blessing. So that was part of my childhood, growing up in Flankers. Then I remember school, guys. I remember Flankers all-age school. Lord, we lived far from school. We lived far from school, so it was a good piece of walk. And then here's the thing, we did not, so everybody else got to eat lunch at school. We had to go home for lunch. My mother did not have enough money to give us lunch money. And then I don't know what it was, guys. I look back now and I don't even know what it was. She wouldn't allow us to eat lunch at school. And we wanted to eat lunch at school. But we had to do that long walk, guys. That long walk to where we live. Eat the lunch and then that long walk back to school. Can I give you guys a joke? Sometimes when we got back to school over, school would have already been dismissed when we got back to school because the walk was so long. And then, guys, it used to be sometimes the sun used to be so hot, so by the time you get back from lunch you just want to sleep, so you sleep out the whole evening session of school. And then sometimes we used to leave our bag because the bag was too heavy to walk home with it and walk come back and the whole works. And it was just, I don't know. And then I just remember that I was just a dutiful child. So I would do everything my mother said. My two younger siblings, guys, they had just kind of decided that they're not doing it. They're not going home. I remember when Shelly started to go to Miss Pearl school. I don't know if anybody remember Miss Pearl. We call the school Miss Pearl, that we don't even know what the school's right name was. But we started having to eat lunch. Mommy would pay for lunch there, and so we would walk up to Miss Pearl's school and have lunch and then go back down. And then I don't remember what happened, but I think sometime, we got there and then we had to wait for the lunch. And but nonetheless, it was a time. And then, guys, let me tell you, as I started getting a little older and coming into myself, I remember now, you're attracting the little boys around you, and they're now seeing you. And so there were some places that I wanted to walk. I wanted to walk there because Kirk was one of those persons. Kirk used to go to school with me, and so I remember that Kirk used to live at a particular location. So I want to walk there, so because I want Kirk to see me and I want to see Kirk. And I would stop at the gate and I would buzz and I would ask for Kirk if Kirk is there. Oh my God. Guys, when you think about it, and then I remember Leonie was trying to take away my little boyfriend Kirk, and somebody never liked Leonie because Leonie is talking to Kirk. And then I was so mad with Kirk because Kirk was talking to Leonie. And I guess all of us was coming into our little own. I wanted to keep my little boyfriend to myself, but me know, so I guess what my mother couldn't know about it, because if she had known, my little bottom would have burned me and thing. And then Kirk had a little freedom. Leonie had a little bit more freedom that I didn't have. They lived closer to each other, so I was living way down. You know what I mean, guys? Back a wall, as the others say, at the whole works. And so every little chance me get, I want to run go up a road. And in my little mind, I used to think that time would stop and allow me to go up the road quick, go see Kirk and come back down and the whole works. But guys, let me tell you something. I think about God's mercy in all of that, because as I got older, you're catching the eyes of older guys. And I remember this particular situation. I made a date for Cranky to come down to the house. My mother was not going to be there, and so I told Cranky to come, that mommy was not going to be there, and so he must come. Guys, me think about it, when Cranky reached down there the night, how me go get my sister them for go sleep so me can go to the door. What me I go to the door go do, only God alone can tell me. Because guys, what was not on my mind? Sex was not on my mind. Because me a little picnic, not only that, I was a church picnic. So that never then nowhere near my mind. So I don't know. I look back now and I'm thinking to myself, what was I thinking when asking Cranky to come? Well, guys, guess what? Cranky coming, and I never got a chance to go outside. Me know say Cranky went out there, and I remember Verum, my neighbor. Verum when come call me and tell me say Cranky out that door. Oh my God. Guys, this is good story time. I couldn't go outside, right? It was dark, and sure enough, I could not get to go out there. My siblings were up. I didn't want them to talk on me, and me surely never want my mother to know, say, me go make man come at the house, right? Or come at the yard. Him couldn't come inside, that's for sure. But the idea was that I would have gone outside the gate. I think when I look back now, you see, guys, I think one of the things is that growing up, we used to see the older girls, you know, everybody pair up in the dark and everybody had a boyfriend and stuff. And so as you're getting to that age 12, between that 12 and 15 age group, you literally start thinking that you're an adult. And then you start making decisions that some of the girls I grew up with made those decisions, guys, and they got pregnant early. Some of them ended up in some situations that's not what they wanted. I look back on my life now, and all I can say is that had it not been for grace, had it not been for the mercies of God, what would have happened to me? Guys, first and foremost, my mother would have killed me. That is the first thing that would have happened. My mom would have murdered me. And then, I don't know, the kind of life I'm having now, I don't know what it would have been. Because years after I left Montego Bay, I went home, and I remember seeing Cranky had become one of those crackhead, real stonehead, you know what I mean, and no good to himself. And so what would that child look like? And then it wasn't just Cranky, guys. I think about all the other guys in the community that I liked, who liked me, but there was no opportunity. I look back now with such pride. Because, guys, none of them no know if me a male or female. None of them, I didn't get involved. No kissing, no fondling, no nothing. I left those situations with my virginity and my purity intact. I'm about to wrap up this video because I don't want it to go much further, but this video is probably for my young girls, and this video is also for my daughter. That, listen to me, life is happening, life is lifing, and while life is lifing, you have an opportunity to make your mark on life. And the decisions you make today, the consequences or the rewards, you will have to live with them. You will look back on your life and you will ask yourself, did I make the right choice? I can truly look back now and say I made the right choices. Thanks be to God. I stayed in school. I stayed in church. Thank God for my strict mother. So we never get to go a road. We never get to be part of the dance. Because look here, everybody could have wine and bubble until to the day me still can't wine. I still cannot do much for myself. But you know what? I am a perfect young lady. I am a beautiful young lady. And so I'm saying to you girls that are listening to this, you will look back on your life and you will be grateful. You will be thankful that you stayed the course, that you had life rough. But guess what? The scars that you got from it are the scars that you look back on now and you will cherish. I'm grateful for my friends. I still have some lifelong childhood friends. I think of Arlene. I think of Erica. I think of Keisha. I think of Roderick. I think of Clive. I think about Karine and Karen, some of those friends, guys, that we all grew up together back home in Flankers, right? And all of us turned out to be excellent women and men, contributing in our own ways. I think about Vicious. Anybody remember Vicious? He doesn't want to be called Vicious anymore. He wants to be called Mark. Mark told me something that I never forget. Mark said, listen, any woman gave him his first child, he would honor and respect that woman. And so I didn't give Mark any children, none at all. Mark don't know if I am male or female. But you know what, guys? I kept that value in my head, that I was valued. And so thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. Guys, this video is dedicated to all of my childhood friends. Thank you guys so much. As you can see, that's my daughter in the background. Yes, I made choices and I have. I can look back now and I can be grateful. So I'm hoping this video brings substance and you look back and enjoy it. Thank you so much. Guys, of course, I am rebooting the channel. Please let me know if you want, if you've liked, subscribe. Which part of this video, which part of your childhood do you remember? You know, what were some of those fun memories? Were there any lessons in particular that stood out for you? Any scars that you look back at now and you realize, you know what, those scars were from my childhood days, and what were the lessons that you've learned from them? Please, let's talk about it in the comment box. And if you are from Flankers, can you put an indication there that yo, I come from yard? I'd love to hear from you guys. All right, guys, bye bye. Until next time, make sure you're subscribing, liking, and of course commenting. Bye bye.